Hello and assalamu alaikum everyone. This is Abdul Basit, and today I'm here again with a few more lines of Paradise Lost. We have already gone through 571 lines of Paradise Lost, and today we are going to read the lines 571 to 604. Okay, so if you have not listened to the previous lectures, you can watch the videos, and you can find the links in the description for your better understanding of these lines that I'm going to read today. So let's get started.
And now his heart distends with pride, and hardening in his strength glories. And now Satan's heart is swollen with pride. His heart swells with pride and hardening in his strength, and he is getting more and more strength. His strength has hardened, and there is increase in his glories. Okay, for never since created man met such embodied force as. So since man had been created, man has never met such embodied force. Man has never met such a great force as named with these, as identified with these. Named here means identified with the forces of Satan. Man had never seen, man had never met such embodied force as could merit more than that small infantry ward on by cranes. Okay, man had never met such a force as could merit, as could deserve more than that small infantry. Infantry means the soldiers who fight on foot. Okay, ward on by cranes. Well, crane is a bird, and here there is a reference to Iliad, an epic written by Homer. And in Iliad, Homer compares the cries of the Trojans to the sound made by cranes in their annual rush to the sea. So, the Trojans' cries have been compared with the noise created by the cranes that are birds. Okay, so that was in fact a huge army. That was a great army, that was a great force, but Milton has used here the word small because as compared to the force of Satan, that force was small. Okay, though all the giant brood of Phlegra with the heroic race were joined that fought at Thebes and Ilium, on each side mixed with auxiliary gods. Although brood means a large family of children. Okay, well, the giants of Phlegra is the place where the army gathered. Okay, well, Phlegra is a place in Macedonia. Okay, and the giants were joined by the heroic race. The heroic race are the seven heroes of the Trojan War. Okay, and the giant brood of Phlegra with the heroic race were joined that fought at Thebes, and those seven heroes fought at Thebes and Ilium. Well, Ilium is the place where the Trojan War was fought. Okay, and in other words, Troy is also called Ilium. And on each side mixed with auxiliary gods, and on both sides there were auxiliary gods, there were helping gods in the Trojan War. Uh, there is a reference to Trojan War here, the war that was fought in Troy because of Helen, and 1,000 ships were launched on sea to avenge the seduction of Helen from Paris. Okay, and what resounds in fable or romance of Uther's son. And then again Milton talks about the fable or romance of Uther's son means King Arthur. King Arthur, who was the son of Uther Pendragon. And in the fable or romance of King Arthur, some other forces have been mentioned, and those forces were begirt with British and Armoric knights. Okay, begirt means surrounded. They were surrounded with British and Armoric knights. Armoric means from Brittany in the north of France. And all who since baptized or infidel. And in that fable or romance, there were some warriors who were either baptized or infidel. Okay, they were baptized means Christian, or infidel means pagans, heathens. Jousted, they fought. Jousted means fought in Aspremont or Montalban. Okay, so Aspremont or Montalban are castles in chivalric romances, sites of great international tournaments. Okay, well, these are the names of two castles that have been mentioned in the fable or romance of King Arthur. And all who since baptized or infidel jousted in Aspremont or Montalban, Damasco or Morocco or Trebizond. Okay, well, they fought in all these places, Damasco or Morocco or Trebizond. Damasco, Morocco, Trebizond, these are sites from chivalric romances. Okay, these are sites from chivalric romances of famous tournaments between Christians and pagans or infidels. Okay, well, Milton has mentioned the baptized or infidels previously. Or whom Bizerta sent from Afric shore when Charlemagne with all his peerage fell by Fontarabia. Or whom Bizerta sent from Afric shore when Charlemagne with all his peerage fell by Fontarabia. So here again there is a reference. Bizerta, legendary versions of history tell of Muslims setting out from Bizerte in Tunisia to conquer Carolingian Spain. Actually, Muslims invaded Spain in 711, some 30 years before Charlemagne's birth. Modern Fontarabia is in northern Spain. Well, here is a place, Fontarabia, that is in northern Spain. And Charlemagne is the person, is the name of a king actually, before whom Muslims invaded Spain. So there is a reference to that invasion that was done by the Muslims, and they conquered Spain actually in 711. And at that time Muslims also had a very great force. They had a very large number of soldiers. And here Milton has compared the forces of Satan with the forces of Trojan War. He has compared the forces of Satan with the forces that have been mentioned in the fable or romance of King Arthur. And then again he has compared the forces of Satan with the Muslim forces who invaded Spain in 711. Okay, so these are Homeric similes. These are the similes that have been used by Milton. Thus, far these beyond compare of mortal prowess, yet observed their dread commander. Well, all these forces were beyond compare of mortal prowess. They had no comparison with the mortal prowess, with the power or with the skill of human beings. Yet observed their dread commander, yet they observed their dreadful commander, means Satan. Well, the forces of Satan observed their commander, He above the rest in shape and gesture, proudly eminent, stood like a tower. And he stood like a tower uh, among his legions. Okay, he above the rest in shape and gesture, proudly eminent. He was prominent, he was proudly eminent, and he stood like a tower. His form had yet not lost all her original brightness. It means that the brightness that Satan had in paradise, that Satan had in heaven, he has not lost all that brightness, nor appeared less than archangel ruined. And he did not appear less than an angel ruined. So there is a paradoxical statement here. Well, Satan has not lost his brightness, and he does not appear less than archangel ruined. He appears like a ruined angel, he appears like a destroyed angel, yet he has not lost all his brightness. And the excess of glory obscured. Well, there is an excess of glory, there is a lot of glory, there is a lot of glory, but that glory is obscured, that glory is hidden, as when the sun new risen looks through the horizontal misty air, shone of his beams. Well, the situation in which Satan is like the situation of the new risen sun. Okay, as when the sun new risen looks through the horizontal misty air, shorn of his beams. Well, when the sun is deprived of his beams in the misty air, Satan is just like that. He seems to be like the new risen sun that has been shorn of his beams, that has been deprived of his beams. Shorn of means to have something important taken away from you. Well, in the misty air, the new risen sun is shorn off his beams. Okay, so Satan is also looking like that. Or from behind the moon in dim eclipse, or when the sun gets bedimmed by the moon, when it comes in front of the sun, when there is an eclipse. Okay, disastrous twilight sheds on half the nations, and when the sun sheds the disastrous twilight on half the nations, and with fear of change perplexes monarchs, and that twilight perplexes monarchs, that twilight confuses monarchs with the fear of change. Well, when the twilight comes, twilight symbolizes the end of the day. Okay, so when twilight comes, the monarchs become confused, they get confused, they get perplexed, because they fear change, they fear that the monarchy will be taken away, their power will be taken away, their throne will be taken away. Okay, so they get perplexed, they get confused at the end of the day, at the disastrous twilight. Darkened so, yet shone above them all the archangel. Well, Satan seemed to be darkened, he seemed to be deprived of his luster, he seemed to be deprived of his glory or shine, yet he shone above them all the archangel. The archangel shone above them all, he shone above all his legions, but his face deep scars of thunder had entrenched. But because of the deep scars of thunder, his face had entrenched, his face had wrinkled. Okay, and care sat on his faded cheek, and there was anxiety, there was care, there was worry on his faded cheek. But under brows of dauntless courage, but he had brows of dauntless courage. Dauntless means showing fearlessness and determination. Under his brows there was a dauntless courage, there was fearless courage, there was determination. Dauntless means showing fearlessness and determination. Okay, so there was fearless courage under his brows, and considerate pride and there was pride, considerate pride. He was very considerate about his pride. Considerate means thoughtful. Okay, he was very thoughtful about his pride, and he was waiting revenge. Okay, he was waiting for the time when he would be able to take revenge from God. Okay, so here in these lines we have talked about the forces of Satan. Okay, Milton has compared the forces of Satan with the forces of Trojans. He has compared the forces of Satan with the forces that have been mentioned in the fable or romance of King Arthur, and then again he has compared the forces of Satan with the Muslim forces that invaded Spain and conquered Spain before the birth of Charlemagne. Okay, so again Milton has talked about the luster or the shine of Satan. Okay, his form has been compared with the new risen sun when he is shown off his beams due to the horizontal misty air. He has compared his form with the eclipsed sun and twilight. And Milton also talks about Satan's pride, that because of his pride, because of his dauntless courage, he is waiting for revenge. He wants to take revenge from God because of his fall from heaven.
So, dear students, this was all about today's lecture. I hope that you have got the complete understanding of all these lines that I have read today. I tried to be more and more intelligible, but still, if there is any confusion regarding this, you can ask questions in the comments below. And if you like the video, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much. Bye bye. Take care.